In storytelling, there is a principle known as Chekhov's gun. It comes from a famous quotation from playwright Anton Chekhov, who said that there should never be a loaded rifle on stage if it's not going to go off. What it means is that every element in a narrative should be necessary and irreplaceable, and that everything else should be left out.
But how does that apply to Pokemon? Is there a point of origin in the story of their existence? Where do they come from? I'm Satchel Like a Bag Drakes, and today, Alex and Kells, we're gonna find out together.
That's right. Pokemon Trivia and Strategy starts right now.
Hey there, Pokemon fans! I'm close siblings Alex.
And I'm PokeKellz. Hey! And everyone say hi to Satchbags.
Hey guys, super excited to be here to cover this super special Pokemon today.
I know, right? And I know what you're thinking. 2 legendaries in a row? But trust us, it's gonna be worth it.
That's right. Today we're tackling the ancestor of ancestors. Well, depending on which story you believe.
He's the one you always wanted, the holy grail of children in the 90s, the Pokemon who could do anything, the Pokemon you tried time and again to move a whole truck for.
It's
Mew.
And he's in Pokemon Snap. I love Pokemon Snap.
Mew is Gen 1's elusive 151st Pokemon, and regardless of what silly trick you tried and failed to snag him with in your game, the truth to his existence is probably even more interesting.
Yeah, it may seem crazy, but Mew was actually programmed into the original Red and Green version games without the knowledge of the Nintendo company.
He was invented by Shigeki Morimoto, a designer and programmer at Game Freak, who put him into the games only 2 weeks before their completion.
But what's even crazier is that the intent to include him in the game goes all the way back to May 9th, 1990, when an application for trademarking his name was submitted.
That's 5 years before the name Pocket Monsters was even copyrighted. And the only clue to his existence was the fact that Mewtwo's name makes him sound like the second in a series. Talk about Chekhov's gun right there. I mean, maybe he really is an ancestor of the Pokemon world.
Oh wait, that's right!
That's right.
Mew's DNA links to every Pokemon in existence. That's why he can live anywhere and learn any move.
Alright, but do you really buy into all that stuff? I mean, there's so many conflicting stories about where Pokemon come from.
Seemingly conflicting stories, old Satchel old pal.
Right, and it's our job to put them all together.
Oh, is it time for the Pokemon creation myth? Yeah, etc.
There we go.
Wasn't sure I was on board for a sec.
Yeah. So Mew's design does look pretty cat-like, but I'd say it looks even more like it's based off a developing embryo.
This is likely to the fact that many mammal embryos start off quite similar looking until they develop features unique to their distinct species.
It's also probably a reference to the largely discredited recapitulation theory, which basically states that as an animal develops from embryo to adulthood, it shows resemblance to other creatures in its evolutionary line.
And yeah, it's not scientifically accurate, but maybe this genetic foreshadowing tells us something about Mew's place in the origin of Pokemon.
Alright, so last week you guys decided that Pokemon's arrival was intentional, and that they exist to help humans along towards utopia. But who sent them, and what's their biological origin?
Well, if you've been following along, you know that Arceus is a shape-shifting space mutant that's said to have created the universe. If this is true, maybe he created all the Pokemon too.
Huh. But doesn't it seem inconvenient to send millions of creatures through space at once? What if instead he condensed all that genetic potential into one tiny little container?
Oh, and what if that container was Mew? Oh, that's so dope! I mean, let's see, you've got the Arceus story over here, and the Mew story over here, and that just makes them copacetic.
Wow! That was awesome!
Mew is so neat!
Chekhov's gun and celestial world seeds. It seems like Mew is the Pokemon embodiment of huge potential.
And speaking of potential, let's see Mew's. It's time for some Gen 6 battle strategy.
Yeah, that was a stretch.
Pokemew!
Because of Mew's well-rounded stats and Gen 6 changes to the move Defog, Mew shifted from a baton passer to more of an annoyance-based support role.
He's gonna need that bulk too, so get a Calm One and EV Train it in HP, Special Defense, and Speed.
Okay, from there, start with Will-O-Wisp to burn or Defog to clear hazards. Either way, the opponent is going to be really annoyed that you messed up their plan. Just remember that Defog also removes entry hazards from their side.
And if you end up taking a hit for it, just use Soft Boiled. If not, start the whole vicious cycle over with a Stealth Rock of your own.
Yikes. Of course, that's not the only way to train a Mew, so as always, here are a few random thoughts.
Combo Will-O-Wisp with Taunt and Knockoff to beat up bulkier foes. You can survive forever with Soft Boiled.
Mew's still a great baton passer. Use him to pass on crazy stuff like Agility and Nasty Plot.
And finally, Mew has access to Magic Coat, which can be a very nasty surprise for any status effects users out there. Try it out.
And that's it, Mew, the keeper of the genes. That was so interesting.
Right, and Satch, thanks for coming out, man.
It was a pleasure, my diddly dude and dudette.
If you want to see Alex and Satchel analyze the new game Metrico for PS Vita, click here.
But before you go, subscribe and leave suggestions for next time down below. I'm Close Siblings Alex.
And I'm Satchel.
And I'm PokeKellz. Tune in next week for a mega metallic episode of The Dex.
And he's in Pokemon Snap. And he's in Pokemon Snap. And he's in Pokemon Snap. He's in Pokemon Snap. And he's in Pokemon Snap. And he's in Pokemon Snap. And he's in Pokemon Snap. He's in Pokemon Snap. And he's in Pokemon Snap.